Now,
Is it like being short?
one other little bit we gotta concern ourselves with.
It's a dedication and an honor of those who are vertically challenged. Like you and Mary.
Yep.
And this other little bit is just as important as this. The people that are doing this have to be members of a clan. There's 7 clans of the Cherokee, and according to the informants of John Howard Payne, as he documented in the Payne manuscript, and his informants were tribal elders, and he only documented accounts that he received from at least 3 separate sources who were not related to each other and did not reside in the same or adjacent communities. The 7 clans apparently were originally 7 distinct tribes that united under the single name Anijilagi, Cherokee people who keep the sacred fire.
Isn't there an 8th clan as well, that they say just?
Those are the ones that turned into bears.
Okay.
The 7 clans are in order of emergence from the fire. The Twister clan, the Wolf clan, Deer, Bird, Blue, Paint, and Wild Potatoes. Individuals are lifelong members of their mother's clan. If perchance the mother was not Cherokee, then the offspring were members of the father's mother's clan, grandmother. In the case that neither parent was Cherokee, then a process of clan adoption was initiated. Cherokee were a matrilineal people, and in order to participate in tribal affairs, ceremonies, and rituals, a person had to belong to a clan, and clan membership was determined by female lineage with no exceptions. Adoption was considered after a 1-year period of apprenticeship and observation by the people, and if an individual was deemed suitable, then a woman would approach a clan mother, usually not her own, especially if marriage was a consideration or a done deal, since interclan marriage was forbidden. The clan mother then takes the request to the Red Woman, who in turn submits the proposal to the other clan mothers, who put the proposition to the women of their clans. If there is a consensus, then the Red Woman is tasked to initiate the ceremony and adoption ritual, and she, and only she, assigns the clan membership based on the request, the general guidelines of clan personalities, and clan membership numbers, etc., 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 with the advice and consent of the beloved woman. The beloved woman is another person we haven't spoke too much about, but she was the oldest woman in the town. Their considerations encompass clan personality and individual adoptees' personality and compatibility, clan size, clan needs, adoptees' capabilities, and other considerations. I'll go through this. These are general descriptions of the personality of the clans. Twister clan. Traditionally the gatherers of information and circulated information to the rest of the clans. Travel far in their quest for information, seeking truth and honesty. As unpredictable as the weather. Focused on intellect and give short shrift to the needs of the soul. The Wolf clan. Traditionally patrol and guard the borderlands, physically and spiritually. Attend all births and deaths, symbolically guarding the gates, the portals between the worlds, loving and kind to their own, but savagely protective with outsiders. Demand freedom and space, yet aggressively mark territory, fencing others out. One set of rules for male behavior: quite another set for female behavior. Psychics who sense exactly where to go. Diplomats who often use humor to disarm their opponents. Courageous, hierarchical, jealous, and possessive. Deer clan, gatherers and providers of essentials, food, supplies, rituals, feasts, and ceremonies. Charitable, spontaneous, and hospitable, believe that there is no essential difference between humans and animals. Basically gentle and peace-loving, yet quick to speak up for what they know to be right. Boldly confront those who infringe on territory or trample on the rights of others, and are compelled to set things right. Just cannot understand any way other than their way. Will break the rules peacefully out of perceived necessity. Tend toward turbulent and frustrating relationships. Super sensitive, and thus they're reluctant to bare their souls for critical review. Bird clan, children of the sun, like hot lava, they simmer and bubble steadily, or erupt suddenly, spewing fire and brimstone. Volatile royalty, who take over care and welfare of the old, the frail, the downtrodden, and the forgotten, the lame, the sick, and the mentally different, and find them a place in the community. They command the Gadoo, blend the energies of the universe with the energies of the earth for the perpetuation of life to the benefit of all. Crusaders who love well, but not wisely. Intuitive and supersensitive to the desires of the spirit. Consider failures of the past way too much. Require tremendous amounts of attention to maintain balance so that emotions bubbling and seething internally do not erupt with volcanic force. Love all humanity, but do not do well in one-on-one encounters. Blue clan, magicians, seers, prophets, oracles, knowers of the light of truth who patrol the dark side, can distinguish the spiritual light of truth from the gloom of illusion, aware of powerful and unseen and unheard forces, require quiet time to process information and messages from dreams and spirit. Keep true emotions and feelings secret and protected, and stubbornly and fiercely guard them. They are knowers of secrets, seeking complete equality of mind, spirit, and soul. Observers of people and able to hear confessions without condemning confessees. Secret and powerful beyond imagination. Channel through which spirit communicates to those in the darkness to guide them to the light. Paint clan, artists, writers, storytellers, poets, etc. Individualist, courteous, slow to anger, easily emotionally wounded. Notice details, deliberate. Make firm choices and give practical and applicable directions. Keepers of symbols and their meanings and use in ritual and ceremony. Healers who restore balance between the human spirit and the spirit of creation, and are quite willing to be instruments of God's vengeance. Inclined to keep eyes and ears open and mouths shut. Often eccentric and can neither be classed as saints nor sinners. Wild potato clan. The Milky Way is the sign in heaven of this clan. The white path of light. The river is the symbol on earth. Head in the mountains, feet in the ocean, body everywhere in between. Unselfish facilitators of life, as above, so below. Water, birth mother of all life, as ancient as creation itself. Live in a world peopled with fairies, leprechauns, angels, gnomes, little people, spirits, gods, devils, demons, sorcerers, magicians, witches, ceremonies, etc., etc. They definitely march to the beat of a different drummer. Use the vibrations of the cosmos, sounds and colors, to go directly to the soul. They are driven by volcanic forces totally unknown to the rest of us. Can be psychic if they put their minds to it, Strong, independent thinkers, perfectly capable and willing to solve all their problems on their own. Missionaries and risk takers who will go for broke and lead others with them. Have a purpose and drive beyond the call of duty. Single-minded and uncompromising. Collectors of songs, dances, images, words. In other words, the manifestations of the light. Believe absolutely there is only one true way, their way. I'm going to give that to you so that you have that when you got to figure out who belongs and what's when.
And I have a question about some of the, I can understand the wolf clan, I can understand the bird clan. I don't understand paint clan, but it's the word that's throwing me. The same thing with the wild potato, I'm not getting it, and twister. Don't think of tornadoes, but
It is interesting because, like, okay, I mean,
Melohi?
that's the name of the wild potato clan, okay? Now,
is
in
that a
Cherokee.
translation? Is wild potato a translation of that?
not at all. In
Okay.
Cherokee, it's
Okay.
potato. You don't see that word
No, nothing
in
like
here
it.
anywhere. Nothing like it. What we Cherokee have to admit to, and some people have real trouble admitting to it, is we no longer know what that word means. It's that old. We no longer know. Like, that word does not mean twister. Has nothing to do with twister. Matter of fact, a tornado, if I remember this right, is yes, the powerful, strong wind.
Yeah.
I see that in here.
And some people put a he after the lo,
Yeah.
so it would be Mani Galohi. Okay?
Now, the closest that this would translate into English is referencing like the queen bee or the queen termite or the queen ant that goes out and starts a new colony. There's absolutely nothing to do with this. Nothing.
Well, they also
Wolf
call it,
means wolf.
yeah,
Deer means deer.
And bird means
they
bird.
also say that, Twister clan is also the long hair clan.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember reading that.
If you really stretch it, can relate paint to this. But the closer translation would be that. Beautiful, pretty. I mean, the beautiful people. If the paint, if the blue clan blue, that would be the word. But that's not the word that's used. I'm not gonna butcher it because I can't remember it exactly, but what it translates to is and not kitty cat, not house cat. Some people translate it as panther, others jaguar, but it means the big black cat. And as I'm not going to butcher it, but when you look at it and then get it, it's closer to jaguar than it is blue. And the only way you can get blue out of it is in the sunlight. You might have streaks of blue on it.
Right.
Just how? So I don't know how those translations got put in there. My suspicion is that the people telling them were trying to protect the information. Protect
Hidden
because
meanings, yeah.
because the guys doing this translating and stuff were Christians
Oh,
or
yeah.
missionaries who, you know, as soon as you told them were liable to have you burned at the stake.
Yeah.
And one of the most popular book on Cherokee stuff was written by this guy, James Mooney, in the early 1900s. And it's a really good book. It's called Myths and Legends of the Cherokee, something like that. It's thick. It's about that thick. And I got it. I read it for the history part, so I could correct his interpretation of history. I set it on my shelf. I never bothered looking at it again. And one day, one of my cousins comes up to me and says, "Have you read the prayers and stuff in that book?" I said, "No." And she said, "Read them." So I did, and I didn't read the Cherokee. I just read his translations, because that was quick and easy. And so next time I saw her, "Did you read them?" I said, "Yeah." And she said, "Well, what do you think?" I said, "What do you mean, what do I think? Are the translations right?" "Huh? Are the translations right?" "I guess." She says, "Well, didn't you read the Cherokee?" I'm like, "No." So where's your book? She opens them, and I can't remember them. But she opened it and read what was translated as a love incantation. In the Cherokee, it was a curse on basically how to do in the person that was reading this. And I was like, what? And I went through all the rest of the whole thing is mistranslated wrong. You know, now how does that happen? Okay, Mooney didn't read or speak Cherokee, so he's depending on Cherokees to translate, and they're protecting this information. Why? Why? You know, we done lost that rule. Or did we? Or did we? Because now all of this information is preserved, but only if you read and understand the language. And so that's the same with these. And the old traditional way is, if you want to find out exactly what that means, you ask a few people, see what their opinion of it is, and then dream about it. Because even the Christian, even the grown-up baby Jesus said, ask. If you don't know, ask. Ask God. And so, I haven't asked. I haven't asked what the Wild Potato Clan's real name is and meant has been of no significant interest to me because it's not my clan.
This one, Bob was
I
part of
checked
it.
out. Yeah. I checked out this one because, wait a minute. I need Guy Lloyd Twister? What the hell? That don't make any sense. You know? You get to checking on that. This one, I said, not my clan. So I never really bothered. That's for somebody in those clans to find out and come tell the rest of us. Because essentially, it ain't my business. Not my clan. My business is to make sure they're protected, taken care of, and have the opportunity to find this out. But it's not my place to do it for them. We got way off field here.
Sorry, that was my
Oh,
fault.
that's okay. Because it's a really good question, and no one ever questions that. We still,
I have to read the details of it and see.